Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another amazing episode of Conversation with Freedom. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest. As always, I'm always joined by amazing people on the show. Today's guest is Boo. She's currently in Barcelona, Spain. Boo, welcome to my podcast and good to have you.
Thank you so much, Freedom. I'm so happy to be with you today. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. For someone, because you've done a lot of things, she's a tennis player, she's a model, she's a singer, she does a lot of different things. For someone who never heard of Boo, please introduce yourself and tell us more about what you do.
Oh, okay. So I'm Boo. I'm a French artist from Paris. I was a very shy and introverted kid. So my mom registered me to every activities possible, everything she can find. She was saying, "Okay, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that." So the thing that I was really good at was music
Yeah.
and tennis. So I played tennis for 10 years in competition, but
Wow.
my heart always belonged to music, you know. So every time I was finishing a tennis match training or school, when I was coming back home, I was working on my lyrics, on my beats. You know, I wanted to have the best freestyle. So even when I was on the tennis court, I was, you know, reversing my tennis racket to do a guitar. So I was always singing, creating something. And at 14, I
Yeah.
had the chance to have, you know, the big brothers of my neighborhood who brought me to a place which is called Café La Pêche. And I
Okay.
start to record my first song. And he was hosting also Jack's, my first open mic. So I start with open mics who lead me to contests, concert,
Wow.
showcase, first part, TV interview, and I start to live the
Yeah.
music dream.
Before we get more into the music and the tennis, you French. What are you doing in
Yes.
Barcelona?
Good question. So, at one moment, I felt like I kind of did everything in Paris in terms of music. Like you know, at the end of the day, it's very small circle, so you end by knowing everybody, and I needed
Oh,
some changes.
yeah,
So I left my country to go first in Portugal. So I lived for 1 year and a half in Lisbon.
yeah.
I did some interview there, and I wanted to have more opportunities. And I know that in Spain, in Barcelona, it's always moving. It's like Paris. So I'm here for my music.
Wow. You're chasing the dream.
Yes, always.
Growing up, what were some of your childhood heroes? Like playing tennis, who were you inspired by?
My best tennis player at that time was, and my biggest inspiration are still Rafael Nadal and Serena Williams. And I
Wow.
had the chance to meet Serena and Venus Williams in Wales. So I
Wow.
have a photo with both of them. It was just one of the best days of my life.
Wow.
Wow, it was.
Did you get the opportunity to play in the major tournament while playing tennis? Did you get to play maybe in the major tournament?
In the media tournament, I was a child, you know, when I was playing. So from 4 to 14. So everything that I did, even the biggest tournament was, you know, under the
Oh.
12 years, under the 14 years. It was not, you know, on the big, big
Yeah.
media or big tournament.
Ah, I am a tennis fan. I love tennis.
Okay, nice. How long have you been playing tennis?
I've never played it. I just like
Oh,
it.
okay.
I've been
Oh,
watching
okay.
tennis for a while now.
Okay, and who are your favorite tennis players?
Serena.
Basics.
Right now, I'm a fan of Coco, and
Yes.
I also love Naomi. The comeback, she's back.
Mm,
I'm so excited to
yeah.
to to watch her. So I love
The
almost
new
everyone.
generation is the new
Yeah,
generation is really, really good. Huh?
yes. So musically wise. what were some of your childhood memories and favorite songs?
Mhm. I remember like the time I really understood that Rihanna was my idol was when she released her song Wood Boy.
Yeah.
And every time before going to school, I was watching the clips, a video clip on TV with my parents, and
Yeah.
I did not want to go out to get out of the house without knowing that she was the number one this day. So Rihanna, for sure, it's my favorite artist, and Justin Bieber as well.
Hmm. Wow. So tell us more about the work. Now let's get into the work that you do. Um, yeah, let's just get.
So what I'm doing right now?
Yeah, yes. What are you working on right now?
Mhm.
And what are some of the projects that, and
Okay.
we can, yeah,
So after 10 years in tennis competition, more than 10 years in music industry, I still continue, but I need some changes. I need some new project.
yeah.
So I launched my life coaching business in January because I feel like now I have the experience to help people to remove their limiting belief.
Mm,
I know that everything is possible and everything is in our mind, like the mindset
true.
create your
Yes.
reality, create your
Yeah.
life. And sports teach me discipline. And
Mm,
so when it comes to my project, I have like a big discipline. I know what I want. I have no distraction, no addiction. I'm
wow.
100% focused on my job. So I learned this, and this month, from a day to another, I had this idea to create my podcast also.
Yeah.
So I created Love, Faith, Resilience,
Yes.
the podcast that I launched like a few days ago on Saturday.
Mm,
And I want to share people's story people who are passionate and who had many challenges, but who overcome
mm,
them and who are like icons, who can really inspire other people.
mm.
And my first guest is Lucia Lilo, and
Okay.
the topic is how do you launch your kids in music industry and how do
Yeah.
you protect them from this industry? And
Mm,
Lucia Lilo, he brought his kids on a famous TV show in 2013 when they were on, like the oldest one was 13, the youngest was maybe 8. And today, one of them is signed in a big record label.
wow.
And thanks to him, he really drives them to be like the good artists that they are. So his story is really, really inspired.
Wow. And speaking of protecting someone while in the industry, how important it is to have people who look out to you while you are in the industry to face the challenges and to maybe help you navigate through your way. How important it is
Mhm.
to to have someone, because people who actually want to do something, sometimes they think I can do this all by myself. I don't, yeah. So how important it is to talk about
To
that.
launch project?
Yes.
So I don't know, like I feel like I don't really control, what my life is about.
Yeah.
I'm a strong believer, and I imagine that everything that I live it come to serve a bigger purpose.
Yeah.
And so everything where good or bad, it's useful today to talk about my experience. And
Mm,
if I
mm,
see someone who tell me, "Oh, I'm struggling to do this," I say, "Hey, I live this. I experiment that. I'm gonna teach you how to do it and how to
yeah.
overcome
Yeah.
this."
Yeah.
So I believe that each time, it's to a new project, a new version of yourself, because the more we get older, the more we get
Yeah.
wisdom and experience, and we can share more about what we are
Mm.
doing.
Any advice for someone who want to get into the music industry?
Yes, so I love to do this in this moment. I'm doing some videos, like the first one was how to get started in the music industry, and the one
Yeah.
that I'm gonna release today is
Okay.
how do I create my own music label. So I
Mm.
love talking about this because I created also my music label during 3 years old, during
Mm.
3 years when I was producing and managing artists. But to answer to your question, my
Yeah.
advice would be to be surrounded by good people, people who are gonna tell you the truth. Like if you're thinking wrong, like you need people to
Yeah.
tell you that
Yeah.
what you're
Yeah.
gonna release it's not the right thing.
Yeah.
So people who tell you the truth and people who support you also, who tell you, okay, you have dream, let's go, I support you in this. Really
Mm.
important. And yet to believe in your talents. Like for me, I did not trust myself at all when I started. I know that I love music, but I
Yeah.
I didn't know if I was good. So I had this incredible chance that every time that I was like from the moment I start to now, I always had someone who teach me, who coach me, who gave me the best advices that today
Mm.
I call my guardian angels, my big brothers, big sisters, and they were always here to
Yeah.
tell me, where to go, the right direction. But especially, they told me that I had talent, and that I need to trust myself. And thanks to them, I
Mm.
ended by, loving myself through my music.
Mm. What are the plans of your record label? What do you want to see your record label in the next 5 years?
Where do I see myself in the next 5 years?
Yes, and your record label.
hmm So I'm not managing my label anymore because I left this when I left Paris.
Okay.
But in 5 years, I really see myself, hosting my show also, like you, hosting people and receiving because it's funny how when you listen to people's story, you can also feel so inspired.
Mm,
I love the
true.
fact that from the moment we are with someone,
Yeah.
we we are humble and we just listen. It's all about the other people, the other person. We
Yeah.
listen and we learn. We sit and learn.
True.
So
True.
I love the fact that in 5 years I will have, even more knowledge and something more to give.
Mm. What are some of the challenges that you face moving from one country to another? What are some of the challenges that you've come across?
The funny thing is, when I am in Paris, everything that I've done, everybody know about it because it's French media. When I did first part, it was
Oh,
from big French
yeah.
artists, but when you go somewhere, somewhere else, nobody know your references. But of course, they trust you. Like they see that it's really professional what you're doing. They see that you have experience, but you need to prove who you are
Mm,
to say, okay, now I'm in your country. All of my life I was in my country. Now, I
mm,
speak in my language, I sing and rap in my languages, but I'm good as your artist. And I'm so blessed that here in Barcelona they gave me the best opportunity. Like I did a contest with a shop, like Foot Locker, like it's called AW Lab. It's like streetwear, sneakers, and everything. And they were organizing a contest for young talents.
yeah.
And the one who were they were selecting 5 people in Barcelona, 5 people in Madrid
Mm,
to sing in their shop. And on the 10, they were selectioning one. They needed to select one artist to sing in one of the biggest festivals in the
mm,
city, which is called Cruella. And I am French. I don't speak a perfect Spanish. I don't rap in Spanish, but they
yeah.
chose me you know, they
Wow.
chose me to perform, and it was just the best day of my life because when you are in this journey of music,
Mm,
so many times you want to quit, so many times you want to stop
mm,
because you're like, you
mm,
know what, I did so many things and I did not make it now, like everything I work so hard, but I feel like I don't see. I don't see anything. I don't see the fruits of my results. And now,
Yeah.
like you realize that when you have this resilience, when you still work on your project, when you still want to do the right thing, the doors
Yeah.
open. Yes, of course,
Wow.
it's not at your time, but it's at God's time. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Wow. And the festival that you performed to, is it the one that you sent me the pictures?
Yes, that's the one. All
Wow.
green. I was sponsored by Adidas. Woo, crazy, crazy.
Wow.
They gave me 300 euros of clothes, like the t-shirt, the jogging, the basket. No, crazy.
Wow. That's so
I was so
amazing.
happy. Thank you so much.
Ah. Wow. Wow, that's so inspiring. That's so inspiring for someone who maybe want to travel the world and he or she is scared. So that story is so inspiring that you can do it. You can go
Of
out.
course, you can do it everywhere, like you create your own opportunities. You have because
Mm.
you see, like the flyer of the contest. So you have the choice of saying, oh no, it's not for me. I'm not gonna do it. They're never gonna accept
Yeah.
me. I'm French. Do it, try it. Who knows?
Yes. Wow. What keeps you motivated?
I don't even know.
Cause you're so positive. You're so man,
Yeah.
you
You know
just so
what? I'm gonna tell you the truth. I
yeah.
come from suburb, I come from a neighborhood, and since I sing in my city, I am an example for the young sisters,
Mm,
because when they see me, uh, they see that I look like them, and they see that
mm,
I don't give up. I'm still working. I'm still doing it. And
mm.
so this is the only thing that keep me motivated. This is the only thing that keep me saying, I'm doing it for them. Because if I
Wow.
stopped when they had all of their hopes on me, I
Yeah,
failed. And, I have this huge responsibility. Some people don't really care about having responsibility,
yeah.
being seen by the youngest one. But for me, it's so, so important. I was raised this way. Like the best thing that we have in neighborhood is that we have the African values, who is love, sharing, transmission.
Mm,
So your big brother teach you, so you need to teach to your little brother. So
wow.
these are my principles and values. You cannot take this out for me. It's in my DNA. And and so when I want to stop and when I want to quit, I always have a sign of the universe who tell me, never gonna stop, girl.
Mm,
Like I'm gonna tell you, the first time I arrived in Lisbon, I needed to find a job, so I had a regular life,
yeah.
40 hours per week, 9 to 6. And I was like, you know what? It's good. I'm done with music. It was so much struggling, too much suffering. I'm like, all good, I'm starting a new life. And then, you know what happened?
What
I
happened?
had one of the big sister in my neighborhood. She sent me a photo of her and her grandchildren, and she told me, "Look, my granddaughter, she has this photo. We have this photo of you and her in our place, and she every time she passed by the photo, she's like, 'Oh, mommy, do you remember her? She was so beautiful. She was singing so well. When is she gonna perform again?'"
Oh
Wow. Wow. That was the
man.
first sign. That was the first time. When I saw the photo of the kid and me, it was after like the big festival of my city. I was like, no. But I was like, no, it was too hard. And then I have the second sign.
Yeah.
One of my big brother, that I met during my journey, he knew that I was in Lisbon, so he was just calling to check on me. He was like, "Hey, boo, when are you gonna release your next song?" And I
Oh.
freaked out. I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. I'm working on it. And I was like, damn, going well, yeah. So I understood that it was not over. And so it's in
Oh,
Portugal that I launched everything. I changed my artist name. I even changed my hairstyle. I had an afro. I changed my locks. I had my artist name was Bounty. I changed to Boo. I did it. I did everything professional. I had my logo, and I wanted to do the right thing at that moment.
mm.
And the craziest thing is that I learned Portuguese to go on TV in Portugal. I participated to this show who is called Bem-vindos.
Yeah.
It's called means welcome in Portuguese, and it's like they give visibility to people from Afro diaspora. So I was home, I was feeling so good. I performed. It was my dream to participate to a talk show, to sing on a talk
Mm.
show, and I was like, wow. Uh, Thanks God I did not give up, because after this, a French TV comes to interview me, and
Yeah.
then I've been to Barcelona and I did the big festival. So can you
Oh.
imagine when you quit your dream and your purpose, you have no idea of what you are missing.
Oh, you just can't give up. You can't give up on yourself. You can't give up on your dreams.
Can't.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
God
so
will always tell you, come back home, do your purpose. You are on this earth for your purpose that I gave you. You
yeah.
cannot quit. Who are you to quit?
Who do you think you are?
That's the point. I decide.
Wow. Wow. And thank God you followed the signs. Thank God for that. Because look, we are here now. I'm hearing your
Yes,
stories. Imagine if you gave up. I feel like
I will have
we
never met
wouldn't
you.
even be here. Like you wouldn't be sharing your amazing stories with us.
Can you imagine everything that you miss? Because for me, there are always two paths, in
Yeah.
life. The path when you follow your dreams and the path when you give up. And when there is this video of Steve Harvey that I love, and he say, the only thing that you are sure is that when you give up, you can be sure that your dream will never happen. No way under the sun, you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So, and you give up, it's over. I mean, you can always, go back to your dreams after, but when you give up, it's over. You miss so many things, so many
True.
opportunities. And I think, at the end of the day, despite all of the, the interviews, the big artists that you meet during
Yeah.
your journey, at the end of the day, it's really the persons that touch your heart,
Oh,
during the way. The one who, at one point, gave you everything when you were nothing. When I start,
mm.
my parents didn't want me to do music, so it was all about the big brothers and the big sisters who were giving me the best advice. They were telling me, "Hey, boo, there a web radio there. There is an open mic there. Come with us. There is a concert here." So,
Mm.
and at that moment, I was young. I was 14, 15, 16. So, and God knows that music industry it's complicated and can be really hard, really, so I had really this chance that I had really people who were protecting me at that moment, because you can
Mm.
always take advantage of a young girl who want to make it in the music industry. But
Yeah.
I was blessed. I was always with people that I could trust, who were telling me the right things. And yes, I had no money, no contacts, and I had just my passion and my talent.
Wow. Ooh, you're so amazing. Like,
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to share my story with you. Like you are so positive, and it's when I see you, I'm like, can you imagine if I had failed? Yeah.
wow. And speaking of, there are people who are going through tough time. There are people who are having depression. There are people who are having anxiety. What kind of advice would you give to someone who's struggling, who's
Struggling.
yes.
Hmm. the best thing is that nothing, like everything is temporary, you know. So even if you feel like you are living the worst thing and that you want to disappear on this whole world, you always temporary, you know. And when I created my own music label, it was a nightmare in a dream. You know, it was a dream for me to be an entrepreneur. I was 19, I was producing, managing my artists, I was coaching them, training them, meeting producers, no, no, no. But then I was too kind, I was too naive, I had no authority. My artists were all big, older than me, and I start depression, I start burnout because um, I did not understand why the person to who I give the most are the one who hurt me the most. You know, I knew nothing
Yeah.
about manipulation, about everything. I didn't understand how people were, you know, just hanging out with me just for interest. Like I had no clue about this. You know, I was always protecting with, you know, the people that I consider as family. They were always here for me. But then I was alone because I decided to launch my label, my music label. But
Yeah.
then I faced like the dark side of the music industry when I was not even famous, you know. So
Mm.
I, you know, for me, I like to say that I failed in so many things. And at one moment, I felt like I was dying. Like step by step, I was dying because I could not understand why people were so mean, so bad, just for a little bit of attention, you know, just because they think they're gonna make it, you know, like they were just started, you know,
Yeah.
because I was watching artists like me who did not trust themselves, who were singing in their bedroom, you know, and I wanted to give them opportunities. But when you help people, you know, like you give you you give them your hands, they take, you know, your arms, you know, without mercy, no mercy. And then I lost myself completely in that because I
Yeah.
thought that I needed to save people and everything. I was too
Mm.
involved in their problems and wow, it was just too much, too much. So this is the reason why I left Paris because I was like, okay, I need to start everything from scratch because now I'm so
Wow.
unhappy. I'm so depressed and I need I needed to have this experience to learn how to manage, you know, how to be um, more direct, to give directive to people. You know, I had no idea that manager was a
Mm.
job. You know, I thought that you were telling people to do this, they will do it, but no, you know,
Mm.
people and especially artists, they have their ego. When I
They
started,
do.
I did not have this ego. I was not like, yeah, I'm the best, I'm gonna be the best. No, I was just listening to people, you know, receiving advices for me to be better,
Mm.
staying humble, you know. And I didn't understand why, you know, people were acting like diva. So it was so complicated, but don't worry, it's just temporary, you know. God need to test you to see if you can handle, you know, like bigger
Mm.
thing because it's always like that. You need to face so many issues to be able to tell people, okay, this is how I did and this is how I manage it, and now I'm fine, you know, now I'm all good. But yeah,
Wow.
that was really big. 3 years of this. And it was even harder because this is why I say it was a dream because it was the years when I had the biggest opportunities in my life. You know, I was
Mm.
doing even bigger TV, bigger show, bigger concert. I was doing the first part of a really, really big artist, Pascal Obispo. And it was, you know, roller coaster. Every time I had the best
Mm.
news, I had the worst thing that was happening to me. So it was,
Oh.
oh, it was scary, you know? Wow, it was really, really big.
Ah, man.
Ah, life.
Man. Ah.
But we made it. We
I
made it
made
till
it.
today, at least.
Thank you know. You went through so much and you're still smiling, you're still
Yeah.
positive. That's to me, it's like very inspiring,
Thank
and I'm
you.
so, thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much. But I think it's part of our culture, we always have the smile no matter what, because at the end of the day, we need to be positive because there are always positivity.
Mm,
Always. In every complicated situation, you can always get out with something. And today, I feel grateful to for this pain, for this suffer, because it gave me so much power, you know. I feel
wow.
so good now because I feel so strong. I feel like I experienced the worst, and that now it's only the best that is gonna come to me.
Ah,
Mm.
wow.
And also, what I learned is that when I was in Portugal, I was in a healing process
Yeah.
because I was always in the rush of a new concert, a new show, and everything. So when I was in Lisbon, it was peace, it was calm. And I even started a therapy at that moment. I wanted to see a psychologist to check, just to check on me because it was so much. And so I needed to take care of myself. And I also read books about psychology.
Yeah.
It allowed me to learn more about human being, about
Mm,
people. And now I'm so fascinated about this. I learned so much about the law um of power, the law, when you share the
the
book.
book.
This book,
Yes.
when I told you, it changed my entire life. Robert Greene, I love this man so much. He understands everything, everything. So I read this one, 40 Laws of Power, The Art of Seduction. I'm still finishing it.
Yeah.
There was also the law of the human law, like the law of
Human, is it?
uh,
Yeah, I think I know the book.
the blue one, the law
Yeah.
of anyway, it's this one. Like he really teach you how we humans are all the same and we have patterns.
Mm,
And no matter who we are, whatever background we are humans and we have this kind of patterns, and we need to know it to protect us.
yeah. Yes. Whoa. Wait. I lost you for a moment. How do you define success? What's success to you?
For me, my definition of success will be to touch people's heart
Mm.
first. So I'm happy that I experienced this. And the second part of success is to live from your art, that I'm still figuring it out. I'm still in this process.
Wow. And then failure.
Failure, failure, it's when uh you go down, down, down. Well, failure, it's when the world is hitting you, and you're like, what? I thought I was good.
You like, what's going on? I thought I'm good at this, and
That's failure to
wow.
me.
I'm, I'm thinking, I'm thinking, what should I ask next?
No problem. Take your time. We are here for the part two.
is I've never traveled anywhere outside South Africa. So I've never been to any country. Is
Okay.
how's 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 the difference between France and Spain?
Uh, so the thing that you need to know is that it's still Europe, so it's very similar.
Yeah,
But France is more in the north of Europe,
yeah.
and Spain is the south of Europe, so we have a lot of sun. Like we have the best weather in Spain.
Mm.
We have maybe 30 degrees, 35, when in Paris, like where, because if you live in the south of France, you also have like a warm weather, but
Yeah.
in Paris, a lot of time it's really cold. So we come for this particular reason, in Spain, you have the beach, you have the mountain, you have everything. It's also a big city, so you have all of the
Mm.
transport, metro, tram, tramway, bus, everything. And yeah, it's very, very different, especially because of the beach and the weather.
And
And and of course to know the language, and but yes, good. The both countries are beautiful.
Mm. And speaking of the beach, what do you do when you're not working? What are some of the things that you do?
I love spending time home watching Netflix with my cats. I have two cats. And I love to go to restaurants with my friends. I love cinema so much. I love to watch movies. And um and yes, spending time in the nature also and travel. Uh, my first solo trip was in Berlin, in Germany,
Okay.
and I wish my second one will be maybe in Morocco, in Marrakesh.
Yeah.
So yes, let's travel,
Wow.
let's do
What is it about traveling that you like the most?
I think okay. I think I lost you for a
Can
moment, Freedom.
Oh, I don't know what's going on. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Ah, the question was, what is it about traveling that you like the most?
Hmm. I think it's I love to travel alone because I feel like I'm free, I I just take the train or the plane and I just follow follow the things like, oh, there is this restaurant, let's try it. Oh, I see
Mm.
that's closed, there is a museum, let's do it. Oh, there is a park who look really nice. Okay, let's try to do
Wow.
it. And
Yeah.
then maybe there are some events and you want to meet other people, you just go with the flow. I
Mm.
love it.
Do you go to music festivals?
I'm not really into music festivals because it's so big. Yes, it's so always so crowded.
Yeah.
So I prefer to be on stage than being on the public.
Ah. And then, how does it feel like to be in front of the stage performing for a lot of people? The feeling.
You know what? We think that it's difficult, but for me, it's easier to sing in front of thousands of people than in front of two people.
Why?
Because when there are so many people, they are really excited and you get their energy, and it's an exchange of energy.
Okay.
You take this
Okay.
this strong energy, like they are so excited, they are screaming, yelling, and then you just want to give everything because they are here, and you need
Mm,
to reach that level
yes.
where when you sing in front of two people, you're like, okay, I need to give my best because there are only four eyes, who are watching
Yeah.
me, and
Yeah.
it's more
Yeah.
pressure.
Mm. Where can people get hold of you on social media? What's your social handles?
It's you can call me Boo on Instagram and TikTok, Boo officiel. on YouTube, and yes, that's my principal social network. And Life Coach Boo also on Facebook. Yeah.
What is there anything that you would like to share that I didn't ask?
The thing is, I am really, really, I'm so happy to be here with you today, Freedom. You have no idea. It's a beautiful day, there's a big sun, who is coming in my apartment. When I woke up this morning, I was so happy knowing that I will have, because it's your first interview of the year. It's
Of
also
the
my first
year,
interview of the
yes,
year. It's my first
yes.
interview of the year too, being a guest. So I'm so happy that we share this together and, just grateful. This day is blessed.
Wow, this is going to be a remarkable year.
Yes, it's gonna be truly amazing.
You're so amazing, and thank you so much for your time. I really would like you to come back to the show so we can
With
continue with this
pleasure.
conversation.
Of course. And but before I want you to come in my show because there's no way
Yes.
I let you go like this.
I'm definitely coming. I'm definitely coming to your
Perfect.
show.
Perfect. Let's talk about this today just after wow, conversation with Freedom was something. I'm so happy that I've been through, my journey with you. It's only positivity.
Wow. This is the question which I ask everyone who come on the show. When it is all said and done, how would you like to be remembered?
Mm. I love one of my favorite artists is Jaden Smith. He's the son of Will Smith, and he has
Yeah.
a song which is called Icon, and he say, "I'm just an icon living." So I would love, to be remembered first as an icon living, and then when all is said and done, I would love to be remembered as, wow, this girl, she's a young Black girl from suburb, and she follow her heart, her passion. She had love, faith, and resilience, and she inspired so many kids to do the same, so many
Mm,
people. So yeah, I want to be known by marking my time by
yeah.
saying I was there, I was here
Wow.
and I did something, for the world at
Mm,
my level.
yes, and you're actually doing it. And speaking of the kids, what are the message that you like to send the kids at home who will watch this and be like, that's my sister?
Yes, I want to tell them that if you have this little passion burning in your heart, in your soul, just follow it because the more you're going to deny this, you will be unhappy, like unhappy forever.
Mm.
And I agree that we need to listen what our family say, what society say, what our friends say. But sometimes, when God is whispering to your ears, you have to take off your headset. Just listen because he's the only one who knows your past, your present, your future. So
Mm.
he's the only one that we should listen to. And when you found this, your purpose, never let anyone tell you that it's impossible. Never let anyone
Mm.
telling you that you're not able, that you're not capable, because only God knows uh, how he made you. And if he gave
True.
you this purpose, like he cannot give you something that you cannot handle.
True. That's
So
so true.
follow your dreams.
Thank you so much. This was
Thank you so much.
the best, even though we had problems earlier, technical problems, but I'm glad that I did this. This is
Mm,
the best way to start a year. Thank you so
yes.
much. I really appreciate you, and I know that my audience will definitely love this. You're so positive. I stay well.
Thank you so much, Freedom. You gave me also this best vibe. So this is why I came with the best vibe on your show. You know, everything starts with you. So thank you so much for it. And we stay definitely in touch.
Thank you so much.